Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays Europa Universalis 4. First things first, let's slow down from speed 5, because on this episode we actually have a lot to do. I have a to-do list here that I'm going to talk about. I played on this save file in like an alternate history for like 40 years to figure out what to do to get myself out of what is kind of a tight spot here. And I was relatively successful, so I'm going to try to replicate it. But you know, there's dice rolls in in Europa Universalis 4. There's things that could go differently if the alliances don't shake out, but I'm going to outlay a rough plan for you. Let's start focusing on colonization. I've learned how to do it. That's step 2, though. Step 1, we're going to handle this civil war, this rebellion, or rebellious faction up in Pyreneo. We are actually going to accomplish the civil war and the exploration element at the same time. Let's quickly talk about how to do exploration. We're going to have these ships wait here. As you can see, there's two different kinds of kind of like white space on the map that we can't travel through right now. You need two different kinds of heroes or people or staff to traverse on land or to traverse on water. So to traverse this kind of no man's land on water that we've never seen before, we are going to need an explorer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this fleet that we have here, which has some cogs, which can take regiments, which is important for us. And we're going to apply a leader to them. We're just actually going to send them back to port here first. But we're going to give them an explorer. And an explorer is someone who can actually traverse that no man's land of water. And then you have to have someone to traverse no man's land on foot as well. So we're going to take 4 regiments here, and we're going to give them a conquistador. And a conquistador, you know, he has military strength as well, but he also has the ability to traverse no man's land on land, which is important. Okay, so for everybody who's not with the conquistador, we are going to move them into like this one same province here in Toledo, just so that they can focus on taking out the civil war. Now, I still have some diplomats, so what are we going to do? Another major concern of mine, we're going to finally annex Navarra. We've vassalized it. I didn't realize that vassalization happens like nearly instantly, I think, but actually annexation requires 190 opinion, which we're actually fairly close to in all honesty. So we're gonna have our one diplomat go improve relations there. We are also going to break our alliance with Portugal, and that's it's gonna tie into something I'm gonna talk about later. Essentially, we're gonna have to fight a war against Portugal if we're gonna want to colonize the New World. We do have a colonist, so we're gonna start first setting up colonies in northwestern Africa here, and we'll see how that works out for us. So, is this all we want to do right for the start here? I think so. So we're just going to let these guys move for a second. Oh, now that he's in port, can I actually give him... Oh, he's not in port. Okay. Or once this ship ends up in port, we're going to assign a new leader. Okay, good. An alliance offer from Portugal, which we're going to decline. We're going to add an explorer. Cool. So now this ship can go into no man's land. So we're going to now take our conquistador-led regimen. And we're going to have them stay here, and one second. There's always a fairly significant chance, believe it or not, unfortunately, that this siege will succeed, and that our civil war will essentially fail, and we'll have to re-siege the territory. It's not the end of the world, though, because it's likely that we will remain fairly peaceful for a while. Now, I am going to send our diplomat that just broke our relations with Portugal to improve relations with Morocco. I want to make sure the other major power here is relatively pleased with us. Okay, so do I have... open military borders with Algiers? Yes. Do I have open military borders with Morocco? Yes. Okay, so we should be able to walk our troops just fine through there. The siege is looking very close here. Our men are now about to start the colonization of North Africa, which is exciting. It took me a while, but I went through the tutorials and I figured out how colonization is meant to work. We did lose that siege, which really sucks because now is going to have a huge risk of rebellion, but we'll just win it back. Is there anything we can do? Pyreneo. We can do harsh military treatment, but I kind of don't want to do that because I want to get cannons as soon as possible, and that's going to require military technology. Now, let me look at our budget for a second. We're not losing that much, and what's the problem with our advisors? We're paying way too much for diplomatic ability, but that's what we want, right? That's what our idea is based on. Yeah, diplomatic. So this is good. All of these technologies are going to be very important towards colonizing the New World, which I'm hoping that we'll be able to fit in over the next 30 to 40 years of gameplay, hopefully. So now our men are on this ship. Apologies for losing that civil war. I should have paid attention to it earlier is the problem. And we're just going to walk our conquistador-led troops into essentially no man's land here. A few local workers in the administration have discovered what they claim is a more efficient way to handle documents. Obviously, they do not know what they're talking about, but can it hurt to let them try their new ideas? We can gain 50 administrative power and gain 50 inflation, or just gain 10 or 0.5 inflation. or we can just gain 10 administrative power. I'm a big fan of net positives, or like undeniable positives, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to just have our troops slowly march up here. These guys are taking forever. We can speed up to speed 4. So this is what I did off camera. I'm just trying to recreate it now. And the major crux, and I'm not sure if it's going to happen this episode, the next episode, or even the episode after, but we're going to... Oh, you should start moving down this way. We are going to slowly position ourselves for war with Portugal, and hopefully war with nobody else, because I believe Portugal is actually... They're going to start a war probably soon with Morocco, and then we can take Morocco's side, weaken Portugal. And the reason we have to go to war with them is because we want to take a province by the name of... You know what? I'm actually going to send my explorer down here so we can see this land. We want to take a province which is an island by the name of Cape Verde. And if you take Cape Verde, it's a really nice kind of station out here that we can use to then vault over to South America. So not to spoil things too soon for you, but this is what we want to do. We want to put ourselves out here, and Cape Verde is like here, I think, or here. And in taking Cape Verde, we can then use that to expand into the New World. Because the way that colonization works is, I'll talk about it literally in like a second here. By the way, there are natives that you'll run into, which is why I sent over a fairly sizable... army. Not sizable in our terms, but, you know, for European war, but sizable for conquest here. For colonization, I should say. So this is Rio de Oro in northeastern Africa. Now, we can see a few different things on the screen. One of them is it's Sunni, so we'll have to convert it after we set up the colony, I think. We don't know what kind of resource the province will produce. Could be slaves, could be fish, could be gold, could be sugar, could be tobacco, etc., etc. And this is the potential tax that can be extracted from this province when it becomes a full city. 1 tax income per month. Pretty bad. We can also see how many natives there are, the aggressiveness of the natives, and the ferocity of the natives, which gives them a damage bonus and also some nastiness that is going to cause us some serious problems. We'll probably send some more men over, actually, to take care of this, just to ensure that we can continue to colonize effectively. But I don't really like this province. It's just not... The tax income isn't very good. So instead, we're going to try to colonize the one just below it. But what I want to point out here when you just mouse over is that our colonial range is 160. And what this means is that the closest cored province we have is 160 units away, which is the Canary Islands here. So what we are going to do is try to go down to this next province down here, which will probably entail another fight. And in fact, I almost want to send, like, our ships back here and just get some more reinforcements already. Because the natives will persistently rise up while we are doing our colonization here, and it always helps to have more men as opposed to fewer men. So we're just gonna maybe split off a small chunk of this army, select army, and we want to create a new unit like so, and we'll put 1 cavalry in there as well. Now remember, we're not intending, or I'm not intending at least, to get into war for quite some time here. So the fact that I'm devoting men to this African conquest should be okay. Now, what's nice is that the natives are, I guess, a little bit primitive when it comes to war, so typically, even with inferior numbers, you're more likely to succeed. And, you know, this is how you use conquistadors to explore, and we can also use our explorers to discover more of the land around us, which might make for a nicer look on this map, as opposed to, you know, all of this white space. But get used to seeing this, because colonization is not a quick and dirty process. So this is the province that I wanted to colonize. It's got to double the tax income, and we can send a oh, it's 162 away? That's real nasty. Okay, so we're going to have to send... This is 163 away. That sucks so much. Is this... No, that's just a buoy. Okay. We're going to send our troops back up here. Hopefully they don't get another native uprising. That would be really unfortunate. But colonization is going to play a major role. It always plays a major role, I believe. If you're planning on playing as Castile, it's a smart idea to put some focus on colonization. We're going to try to colonize this, Rio de Oro. And the reason we're colonizing it, by the way... Oh, actually, you know what? I totally know what we can do. And this is a big waste of my time. But what we can do is go to our advisors, and there should be an advisor... We're going to kick out this expensive guy, which is also going to help our economy. And we can get somebody that gives us plus 20% colonial range. Ah, okay, so now we're making a surplus every month. We're getting a little bit less diplomatic power every month, which sucks. But now we can actually colonize Arguin first. And then what we'll do after Arguin's colonized in a few years is we'll core the province. Oh, not in the same way we'd core an apple. Our army's kind of getting cored right here. Oh my god, we only have 0.9 men left there. So hopefully our 4 troops... can get down there before we lose this colony. This is not the best way I've ever done things, I'll admit. Wait a minute. Transport. Down here, please. No? You can go here? Can you go here? Yes, okay. So we're going to send our colonist into Arguin now. And in 60-some days, he is going to arrive. And then this will become Castile, the coast of northwestern Africa. Will start to be a familiar shade of yellow, which is nice. It's very nice, in fact, and we'll start getting resources from that. Settlers will slowly pour into the colony, and eventually, if we get lucky and we fight off the natives long enough, it will become its own kind of self-regulating, self-sufficient city. So as of right now, we need to wait until we get 1,000 settlers. Currently, there's 10, and it's only growing at 60 per year, but we will occasionally get more technology that will give us buffs on this, or occasionally just things in the environment that'll give us more buffs on this. Anyway, let's see what we've got here. An alliance offer from Portugal. We're going to decline that. What do I have my diplomats doing right now? Improving relations in Navarra. Are we at 190? We are. Okay, so we can actually stop relations improvements with Navarra. And we're slowly working through this to-do list that I had. So we stopped relations improvement. We'll wait for our diplomat to come back now. And now we will send him back to Navarra to start the process of annexing them. So when we annex them, they will actually become us. You know, there won't be a Navarra in the Iberian Peninsula anymore. There will just be more Castile. So, yeah, we're going to be able to do this. It'll give us 5 prestige. And I should point out as well, we're actually going to get prestige for every colony that becomes self-sufficient as well. Sometimes we'll get 2, sometimes we'll get 0.5, sometimes we'll get 5. I've never had any more than that. So again, the way that the colonization is going to work, this is Cape Verde, by the way, currently owned by Portugal, which is what we are going to, oh, it's Terra Incognita? I guess I haven't been to it yet, so I can't see that it's Cape Verde. But in any case, we're going to fight for Cape Verde. We're going to fabricate a claim on it once we have a neighboring province. And then we'll fight Portugal, take Cape Verde, and try to use that. We'll core it, which will give us a huge colonial range, enough to get into South America. And we'll start colonizing South America, because this is what you do as Castile. Or that's what I'm going to do as Castile anyway. So let's just let some time go by. Let me check out my to-do list. Civil War is done. I kind of lost. Settle North Africa is in progress. Break alliance with Portugal is done. Fabricate claim on Cape Verde. Annex Navarra. Improve relations with Morocco. Good. After we improve relations with Navarra, with Morocco, we are probably going to focus on... Oh, you should start moving down here. We are probably going to focus on improving relations with France, just to make sure they don't stab us in the back when we fight Portugal. And we might also, instead of going with France, we could actually go with England, if we wanted to. And in fact, I think England is pretty positive. -2, it's not so bad. Who are they allied with? Savoy? And a coalition against France, so you can't have your cake and eat it too there. In my game, weirdly enough, Scotland, took over half of England, so I'm interested to see if that'll happen again. Typically, England's a pretty strong power in this game, so we'll see. Anyway, we have won the Siege of Paraneo. That's good. We might want to use, I mean, to a certain extent, I'm just waiting to kind of get some more technology at this point. Now, I would like to point out our mission right now, should we choose to accept it, is to get a proper fleet. And in order to get a proper fleet, we need to have our Navy force limit at 75% of its maximum. Or sorry, our Navy... we have to have a number of ships that is equivalent to 75% of our maximum here. So I would have to build somewhere in the vicinity of 20 ships, 18 ships, which is unlikely. So I think I'm actually just going to cancel that mission. I think that was a stupid one for me to take. It's going to take 5 years until I can take another mission, which is going to inhibit our prestige growth and technology growth just a little bit. It's not so bad, though. And the other thing I'm going to do, we got 401 gold here. I'm going to start building some actual buildings here that is going to really help our economy in the long run. So I'm going to start building constables, which give us a 20% higher local tax rate. And I really like the way that EU4 handles this interface. Essentially, it's like, oh, you want to build a constable? Here's how much the province currently gives you. And here's how much it'll give you extra per month as a result of the constable. So, you know, obviously, since it's a percentage buff, I'm going to give this to my most lucrative provinces so far. We'll say maybe anything over a 7 right now, because I'm getting... These cost 50 each, by the way. Anything over a 7, I will give a constable, and maybe 1/6 that is, deep in our territory, so I'm unlikely to lose it. And that's good enough for now. We can always build more. There's this prompt here that will constantly tell us. But apart from that, we're going to let a lot of time go by. Colonization is not quick. It's you know, a little bit laborious. But the more colonies we get, the faster colonization will go. We are already going to have the infrastructure in here to support more colonies because we're already going to have troops. And we're going to... so the natives have risen up. Good thing I sent some more regiments down there. And we should be able to, let's merge these forces, start colonizing pretty effectively. By the end of this video, if it goes on for a half hour, I at least want the Rio de Oro colony to be, set in stone, like to be good. How's Morocco doing? We'll wait until we're at 100% with Morocco. Navarra is going to take a long time to actually annex here. He's been doing it for 141 days. I think we can see the progress, can we? If I click on the... No? All right. Maybe I can see. It's going to be done in 1503. 1503! Oh my god. That is like 30 years away. 32 years away. Anyway, so that's one diplomat out of commission, I guess. I am going to build some extra troops as well, although these guys are being reinforced, so that's okay. So we'll just let some time go by for now. Are these ships really not doing anything? I thought I had them... Oh, it's repairing, okay. I was going to say, I thought I set them to repair, or to protect the trade node. Are these men reinforcing right now? Doesn't appear so. Natives have risen up again. We should be able to take care of them. We can basically just let it take care of itself. The other thing we're going to focus on here is definitely teching up. So we're going to save as many diplomatic points, particularly as possible, because the bonuses that we'll get for tech are huge. The next one is plus 50% colonial range. So that'll really maximize the chances of us being able to colonize all the way to the Americas. And maybe we'll set a goal that by 1500, we'll discover the New World. So a little bit behind schedule, but it gives you a huge prestige bonus. And we'll go up to speed 5 here, because we're kind of just hurrying up and waiting. I am going to build, what's our force limit situation looking like? 20 out of 37. Let's build an F-ton of units here. Just to make sure that when we want to go to war with Portugal, and we will, that we have the means to do so. So I'm going to build 4 infantry and 2 cavalry, because you can't have over a certain proportion of cavalry in your army, or you get a debuff. Enrique IV has been acting very strangely the past couple of months. It would seem that he is suffering from a temporary crisis of insanity. That's the worst. As a result, our realm was left with very little efficient guidance. So we're going to lose ducats no matter what. And we'll request administrative guidance, so we'll lose 25 prestige. That's unavoidable, but we'll gain 25 administrative power versus army and navy tradition. I don't know if that's the right decision, but, you know, administrative power, this is like 25 months, 2 years of administrative power, essentially, that I'm taking, because I have bad advisors right now. Might want to consider getting better diplomatic advisors. Hey, we just gained another 25 ducats. Might want to consider getting some more diplomatic power per month by hiring a better advisor, but the next level of technology for advisors is so expensive. Wait, these only have 22. This has 26 supply limit. So this is going to be a fairly sizable army here. The problem is, and I'm spoiling things a little bit, when we go to war with Portugal, we're going to be at a disadvantage. We're going to have to be very choosy about where we fight battles and how we fight them and how many armies we have or regiments we have dedicated to it. Because Portugal, I'm not sure if we can see, but they already have artillery in the form of cannons. So they are better at sieging. They will definitely out-siege me at this point. But also, you know, those cannons can really wreck you if the tactics are not up to snuff. And to a certain extent, that's kind of a crapshoot for me. But anyway, do I have any military leaders not doing anything? No, they're all doing something. That's fine. But this will lower our colonial range, so maybe it's not the best idea just yet. We'll just sit around and wait. So we'll continue keeping a look at our colony here. It's slow going, but it'll eventually be done. The first time you brush it off, but when it happens the second and third time, you do begin to wonder, why are people laughing at you when they think you can't hear them? After you've asked around for more than a bit, you finally manage to get an answer out of a chambermaid. It appears that the heir has been running around your town in a most unchristian fashion, and your family is now becoming the laughing stock of Europe. Let's scold him publicly and take the 5 prestige hit. I hate to lose prestige because it's slow going to get it. Hey, we gained 100 population in Arguin. That's actually puts us 10% closer to this actually being a successful colony. Borders are organic things. Oh, okay, so France gave us a claim on Girona. This is a problem. This is why I want to improve relations with France as soon as my relations with Morocco are pretty good. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Let's stop relations improvement. And we're not going to go and make an alliance with Morocco just yet. We'll do it just before we start war with Portugal. Venice has declared war on Austria. Actually, when I was playing off camera, Austria kind of got screwed by Hungary and Venice and Bavaria and Bohemia and I think Poland all kind of turned on Austria. And Austria, which typically blobs out of control, or so I've heard at least, in EU games in general, kind of got taken down to like a 2-province duchy, which is really interesting. Slaves have been a trading commodity since antiquity, but lately the demand has increased rather drastically due to the large amount of plantations established in colonies like Arguin and similar provinces. Okay, so slaves are going to be produced in Arguin. Obviously, it's kind of a hot-button issue, but slaves are something that we can sell for a lot of money, and we don't really have the choice, on moral grounds, to say no. So I guess I will just reap the benefits. With 204 gold, I am going to just take a second here and build some more buildings. If we're not going to go to war, we might as well start making more money. That'll help us kind of war later in the game. So is there another 630? There is. And I'm just going to slowly lower the requirements. Switzerland has declared war on Austria. Maybe we'll see Austria kind of get cut up here. And I definitely do not want to end this episode. By the way, we have discovered Mali here. They didn't seem to be a problem when I was playing off camera, though. So how's this doing? Still under 50%, but that'll change. We are about to tech up, actually. We can invest in new diplomatic technology, but I'm not going to. Oh, my lord, one of your advisors has suggested selling off titles of nobility to anyone who can afford to pay. We can gain 1 stability or 73 ducats. How much are we gaining per month? It's like 10 months worth of income. What's our stability? 0. I would like, let's take our stability. It always helps to be a little bit more stable. This will also sometimes improve our tax generation, I think. We are almost at alliance offer from Portugal decline. We're almost at enough diplomatic points. We need 400 in order to be able to tech up for colonial or for exploration ideas. So we're going to go for overseas exploration. This gives us a plus 50% colonial range, which is fantastic. We should now be able to see... we also get +1 colonists. I didn't know that, actually. That's awesome. So now we can colonize maybe Trarza, which has 1, or Rio de Oro, which has 1. Let's see our colonial range now. Our colonial range is 272, which is awesome. There's probably another way that we could get to South America, but I don't know if that's actually true. Here's so I'm going to send a colonist into Rio de Oro here, which is not the... first off, I apologize for my horrible accent. Secondly, it's not the most valuable colony, but it's nice to have it regardless. We're going to send the 4 men not ruled by the conquistador up here. And we're going to colonize Africa before we worry about colonizing South America, because we want to get Africa set up so that we can just go to South America, because we have to go to war with Portugal. So I don't want to have these regiments 100% dedicated to Africa if they could also go to war with Portugal, for example. Okay, so we're going to lose 50 ducats because the other alternative is that we lose the population of settlers by 50. So I'll pay $1 per percent of settlers just to make sure that this colony hits sustainability pretty soon. It's pretty close. These guys are a little bit more violent than their counterparts, so they will start to rise up more often. But as of right now, it's pretty good. We might have to send over some more men. We're down to 2 men here. What I could actually probably afford to do is actually split this up and then send these 2 dudes over here. And, this will be a little bit more sustainable, I think. We only need 2 men here because the natives here never rise up. Let's compare their hostility. Oh, actually... pretty similar, but these ones, even when I was playing last night, these guys in Rio de Oro seemed way more violent. It's nice seeing Castile slowly spread out across the map, by the way. It looks nice. I promise you, I assure you, as things go on, you will see. So our prestige right now is really low, and that's not great, but Franz of Austria has been elected to the seat of the Holy Roman Emperor, I suppose you can say. This colony is about to hit fruition here, and then we might stop the video and start moving on to the next video. After this colony gets self-sufficient, we'll start colonizing Trarza, and once we get that, then we will start fabricating a claim on Cape Verde, and then we'll go to war with Portugal, which should happen maybe at the midway point through the next episode if I continue playing on speed 5. Native assimilation in Arguin. Good, we gain another 100 population there. They are now at 872, so there's about 13% remaining. Okay, we're going to take more administrative power again. It's going to cost us more ducats and more prestige. We are going to be in, negative prestige soon, which is not good, but good. We are at full relations with France, so our diplomat should arrive home any second, and maybe we'll go back to improving relations with Morocco, just to ensure that they're on our side, because we really need Morocco on our side to make sure that Portugal gets screwed. And we're also going to watch and see if Portugal starts declaring war on somebody soon, because then we want to get in on that war and make sure that we kind of capitalize on it, essentially. New missions can be selected. Continue the Reconquista, unlikely. Become papal controller, unlikely. And create a proper fleet. That was the one I just canceled, so I'd be pretty silly if I did it again. Oh, we've reached permanent relations with Morocco. Portugal wants military access, which I am going to say no to. Can I request for military access from France? Sure, because if I want them to be able to get in here to fight Portugal. So Cape Verde is... Oh, Portugal is settling Cape Verde right now. So I don't think I can actually fabricate a claim on Cape Verde yet. I think. We'll see. Let's go to it's covert actions. Fabricate claim. Oh, I can fabricate a claim on Cape Verde. So we're going to get that started just because, you know, our diplomat isn't really doing too much else now. This is going to put 2 diplomats kind of out of commission for a long time. But again, we're playing a little bit of the hurry up and wait game here. So we have a new pope that's been elected. We are almost at 1,000 settlers. 965, 968. They discovered our agents. And good! Arguin has become self-sustaining. That's fantastic. We should be able to now colonize Trarza, and we'll see a nice little Castilian ridge over Northwest Africa here. So we're going to send some men down here. Ooh, I almost lost that battle. I should have had the men come in earlier. And we can invest in new administrative technology now as well, because we have enough administrative points. What do we have? Farm estate that we can build. Production efficiency plus 10. Seems like a smart idea to build up our technology. And I think at our next level of military technology, we might get... Oh, we get the arquebus, which I sounded like the Swedish chef when I said that, and I apologize thoroughly. But after that, I believe we get cannons. And that's really what I would love to have before we go to war with Portugal. Although it's probably not going to be likely for it to happen. So Portugal has taken the Azores. That's Madeira? Where's the Azores? It's like up here. Okay. So Portugal has taken the Azores. That's another path that you can take maybe up to North America. But we can also get to North America from South America. Really, it's to a certain extent, it's just about connecting the dots. So we're going to try to trace a line into South America. And once we get there, you know, good to go, basically. So I'm going to let it go for maybe another 2 years here. And then we'll end this episode. I understand... you know, it's not necessarily the most exciting episode. Yes, Morocco, you can have military access. It's not necessarily the most exciting episode because we're just kind of hanging out here, sitting at the dock of the bay, basically. But, you know, we can follow what's going on in Europe. And once this colonization is done, I promise you a major war with a major European power that, until now, I've largely been trying to placate and, you know, thinking that we could exist in peace and harmony with. And, in fact, oh, we've gained casus belli for conquest. Good. And, you know, in all honesty, I probably could have gotten Cape Verde before Portugal if I had just figured out how to settle faster, but I didn't. So that is my loss. Mali, yeah, maybe we'll try to take over Mali at some point. Morocco, we're already at like 100% with them. I don't want to ally with them yet still. How's Algiers feeling? They're allied with Castile and Tripoli. We'll improve our relationship with Algiers as well. The more allies we have going into this war, we should probably actually improve our relations with Aragon to ensure that they don't go to war with us. But they're at war with France right now, so my guess is that Aragon has probably got bigger fish to fry than trying to take some of its land back. So let's continue letting things go on for a couple of years here. Both of these other... Ooh, gain 400 ducats, gain 1 inflation. Gain 400 ducats! That's actually totally awesome. We could become Defender of the Faith, which I don't want to do. But we will definitely take our military technology. And the next one is the Limber. What does this give us? Artillery fire, and... I think it also gives us the artillery. Which is good, because we'll tech up to Portugal's level maybe before we fight with them. I say we go until 1480 in this episode. Why not? Unhappiness among the clergy. We can either... Okay, we can gain prestige, lose papal influence, or lose prestige, gain papal influence. We need prestige, so we'll lose papal influence. By the way, you can actually spend your papal influence if you have cardinals that are under your control, but I don't have enough papal influence to vote for any of these cardinals yet, so I can't really gain favor with the church right now. So, global tariffs continue going up because we're trading in slaves. Is that a good thing? I think so. Now that we have so much money, why don't we try building one of our special buildings here, this farm estate, which will increase goods produced by 100. And it's not really going to give us a huge boost, I guess, but we'll build it up in Lyon here. It's going to cost us 500. I don't know if it's good or bad, or if this is going to give us prestige or something when it completes. Who knows, man? But we had the money to do it, so why not take a chance? So we have 953. Oh, I should also definitely... it's so cheap to make colonies cores, so we're going to make a core in Arguin. and then this will presumably allow us to colonize a little bit more into Africa and also some of these islands out here that are a little further away from the Canaries. Anyway, our master recruiter has died. That is an advisor. We will hire, how much, what's our, surplus right now is really good. So I'm going to hire this more expensive advisor for the hope that he's going to give me more military points. How many does he give me a month? I think he gives me another 3 per month. And you know, we should still keep our explorer, but I might want to murder, well, not murder, but kick off this leader for now. And this will gain us 1 more military technology per month. So is that a good idea? I don't know, but it does give us 1 more military technology per month because we're not paying that cost in maintenance anymore. So we are almost rolling over to 1480 now. Grain will now be produced in Rio de Oro. Fantastic, so we know what this province is producing now. I don't know how if that's good or not. You know, I don't really pay attention too much to the trade screen because I don't know what I'm doing. But, you know, you can see it here, where the trade notes are. Morocco has canceled the right to military access they have generously been given by us. That was a weird sentence for me to say. So they canceled military access that we gave them. So they just don't want to come into our country anymore, I guess. One of the colonial ventures has run into serious financial trouble. We will step in so we don't lose the population there. And we are very nearly going to roll over here. So that is 1480. Another like 10 years, I guess, of Europa Universalis foreplay. And we started colonizing North Africa. What else is going on? Hungary is blobbing pretty nicely. I guess the same way it does in Crusader Kings 2 now, since the Old Gods is out. Scotland and Connaught, nothing much seems to have changed there. The Ottomans, weirdly enough, have not taken care of Dulkadir, which usually you take care of like very, very early on. And I can't really see the rest of the map. But we're going to continue to worry about conquest in our next episode. And the next episode is when we will almost certainly go to war with Portugal. Whether that'll finish in the next episode or not, I don't know. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. We're going to start making some progress as Castile and discovering the new world, hopefully in the next episode or the one after it. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support you've given the series so far. And I will see you next time.